has laminar flow on the rubbery skin. That's why it is able to swim very fast. Our blood vessels are also very smooth like that. The blood can go very smoothly without damaging anything. But the moment any huh? Eh, you think about it like this. There's suddenly a small part of the road that is coming out like this, and cars are going very fast, very fast, very fast. How many car accidents will happen like that? And cars will get destroyed, will become pieces, and but the car is still going, still going, still going. That is what happens when this roughness comes inside the blood vessel. This sticky thing that was never really existing in the first place. So all this is like a perfect storm. One thing on top of the other, on top of the other. It doesn't have this. Allah Ta'ala gives so many chances to us. We not only have increased blood pressure with increased sodium, but now we have also increased amount of cholesterol in the blood with increased amount of fat or bad unsaturated fatty acids. This PUFA, polyunsaturated fatty acids. So PUFA, when we eat, that causes the stickiness to come in the blood. So that blood which is getting sticky now on top of the bad blood vessels, already it was not having laminar flow, suddenly it will have so much blood cholesterol gets start sticking. It is only a matter of time before that cholesterol gets sticking. Maybe 1 year, maybe 2 years, maybe 3 years, maybe 6 years, maybe 11 years, maybe 13 years, maybe 19 years. One fine day, it has this. This is called stenosis. And whenever a lumen becomes blood vessel is like this, or the lumen becomes like this, it is supposed to. Can you see the small? Can you see me through this? I can see you guys. That is how much of a comedic thing that used to be a blood vessel at a time. And our moms and our dads don't even know this is happening inside that body. This was what was happening to my father. So, and can I blame something? I blame cigarette. But you should be saying, I should be blaming cholesterol. I should be blaming the chicken that he never ate, by the way. He never was a bad eater ever, but he was a bad smoker. How the hell am I blaming the smoke, not the cholesterol habits? Because there is reason to it. So what happens one fine day this happens, and if this happens, that is when heart attacks happen. So what is a heart attack? Heart attack is basically the coronary arteries, the heart is there. One day the coronary artery, the artery that supplies the heart. So heart is supplying the whole blood, whole body. It is a special group of arteries that only supply the heart itself. It's like so paradoxical. They only work when the heart is resting, they work. When the heart is actually pumping, they don't work. It's actually opposite. Those are the only vessels that work in the opposite manner to the heart because they are supplied to the heart itself. If imagine the supply to the heart, the wiring to the heart itself is getting blocked like this, what will happen? If it happens anteriorly, anterior wall heart attack, anterior wall MI. If it is happening in the posterior coronary artery, it is posterior wall MI. If it is happening in the other coronary arteries, I think transverse coronary artery, it is to the lateral wall MI. So MI means myocardial infarction. Myocardial infarction is a very posh way of saying heart attack. So what is heart attack? Basically this part of the heart not getting blood. This part of the heart not getting blood. And if something doesn't get blood, like I told you, atrophy, that part of the heart gets small, shrunken. That shrunken heart, how much it might pain. Have you ever had acidity? Yes. Bad acidity ever had? How much it pains when something into that thing goes there. Imagine how the heart is shrinking and how much it might pain. Just clutch at this, just like this, and they go. And sometimes they clutch their hands. Why do they clutch their hands? You will obviously know. Nothing like that. What happens when you were children, when you were a small baby? Imagine now I've grown to a big horse, but when I was a small, cute little baby, this hand skin was actually on my heart. Okay? That's slowly, so that's what dermatome. Slowly, Allah Ta'ala had when He grew me, that hand skin, that heart skin went into the hand also. So whenever there's any pains here, it is not referred pain. The pain here actually can generate all that in here as well. And sometimes more here than here. So they don't clutch like this, actually clutch like this. Because that is the body telling them actually this used to be near your heart, so your heart is paining. Go run to the doctor. So they clutch it like this, and that is a typical movie-like thing for announcing heart attacks. So this thing, whenever the coronary artery is damaged, slowly when the cholesterol is coming over there, that is what causes coronary artery stenosis, or basically the mechanism of a heart attack. Imagine if this is happening in the brain. what will happen? Actually, brain is a wrong example because brain hardly the cholesterol reaches in the brain. Brain mostly the causes an emboli. So many dangerous things in there. These guys are experiencing MBBS syndrome. What happens? What happens?
How are we?
Huh?
How are we living?
How are we living? On second thought, every boy in the second year of or first year MBBS will have menopause. Every boy, because they look at the symptom. I have hot flushes. I have anxiety. All the symptoms of everything. I have everything. I should think something. I should have. I should think I have something, but it's such a comedy thing that when you think about this, you think, oh my god, like, we also have this, I have this symptom, this symptom. That's why WebMD, there's a meme going on that if you read WebMD, everybody has cancer like that. Because they say, do you have this? They have fever, you have cancer like that. So, either way. So, in the emboli, yeah. So, the emboli goes into the brain, and that is a different story. So, wherever the blood vessels are getting stopped, that is where you have the manifestation. You have blood vessels getting stopped here, a middle cerebral artery, MCA, or an MMA, middle meningeal artery, small changes, gets ruptured very easily. You have a stroke over here. Left hemispheric stroke, completely it's gone. Right, yeah. Right hemispheric stroke on the left pole. Left hemispheric stroke on the right side, full light above. Sometimes you have quadriplegia, sometimes you have hemiplegia, sometimes you have dystroplegia. Different ways this thing can manifest. But blood vessels and their relationship is so important. Okay? That's why when I explain people about what is diabetes, everybody speaks half an hour about insulin, 2 hours about pancreas, insulin regulation, upregulation, glucose transport, all these things that they never really say. Diabetes is actually microangiopathy. Diabetes is actually these are the small blood vessels. Small blood vessels. That's actually a microangiopathy. It's only a disease where the sugar molecules are very dangerous things until they go into the stomach. They're very tasty. But if they go anywhere other than the stomach, they are very dangerous. Because they are toxic. The small sugar molecules are going in the small blood vessels and they cause blood vessel rupture. It is essentially what diabetes is. In a single line, small blood vessels get ruptured due to sugar molecules. The complicated way of saying is microangiopathic pathologies due to non-enzymatic glycosylation. Is the medical way of saying it. But simply what it means is sugar molecules are enjoying and going more wherever they should not go. Now why are they enjoying? Why are they going where they should not go? Because their watchman, their guardian is insulin. Insulin say, oh idiot, where are you going? Go here. Stomach is here. Go into the muscle. Go. Muscle, you are irritated over here. No, I want to go there. There's a nice amusement park. There's Starbucks over there. So he goes here. The first Starbucks that they find is retina and in their kidney. They love to go there for some reason. Actually, they don't love to go there, but that is the smallest lane through which they can cross, and that is when they get burst. The smallest arteries are in the retina. The smallest arteries are in the kidney. Can you imagine which are the two places damaged most by diabetes? That's exactly why nephropathy, diabetic nephropathy is synonymous and diabetic retinopathy is synonymous. Diabetes Undangil, in the alam, he will have a very favorite nephrologist. Diabetes Undangil, in the alam, he will have a very favorite ophthalmologist. That is how much ophthalmology and diabetes, nephrology and diabetes are connected to each other. Why? Because these sugar molecules cannot go through the small blood vessels, and that is when they get ruptured. So blood vessels has a plethora of myriad of manifestations. We don't take them, we take them for granted, but you should pray, we say, how lucky we are that our blood vessels are not damaged. And let's hope it never gets damaged. So, diabetic retinopathy, why I did not want to start that is because I had to go this much deep in diabetic retinopathy. I do not want you guys to be one of the people who just know flame shot having this. It's like, I don't want to be like that. I want it to be more deeper than this. That's why I didn't discuss it today. But on some level, hypertensive retinopathy is like this. It's like a simpler version of diabetic retinopathy. There's not much to discuss here. But now that you've understood that blood vessels again and again on irritation on a dynamic stimuli can get injured, and this response to injury, if it's not happening in the right way, on the right manner, can actually later on either cause an atherosclerotic emboli. So, just like you've always studied in CRO and CRVO, that is atherosclerotic emboli, right? What is this atherosclerotic emboli? It's nothing but damaged blood vessels that are there. Even if somebody of our group is not having high cholesterol, they can have normal cholesterol as well, not just a little bit higher than normal cholesterol. But if the damage is extensive to the blood vessel and the blood vessel is rough, even the normal cholesterol can also get stuck to it. That is why when my father had to go through bypass surgery, I did not blame the cholesterol. I actually blamed the smoke that is coming from the cigarette. Because if you read about the mechanism of how smoke injures the body, then smoke goes inside the body. Sometimes it goes inside the blood vessels as well. Okay, because there are so many blood vessels in the body. These blood vessels, when they are exposed to the have you ever taken a plastic or something in this? Have you ever seen the smoke when it goes on the wall? What color it becomes? It becomes black. And imagine if there was 10 years of smoke. In the kitchen happens all the time, right? Imagine if somebody took it like this with a nice scraping tool and took it in the hand. How disgusting and how thick it is. This thickness, this literal thickness was going inside my dad's every day. Little bit of this was to be put on the blood vessel. How damaging it is to the body. But that damage was actually happening to the blood vessel. It was causing a roughness in the blood vessel. And then the normal sticky cholesterol getting going and sticking to it, which was normally would not have done. That is what was happening in his case. That is why he got the bypass surgery done. So what he got done is all his blood vessels have been cut, and in those places stents have been put. Clean blood vessels have been put, which don't have any cholesterol. Because the blood vessels are completely smooth. So where did he get the blood vessel from? No. Where did he get the good blood vessel from? From the thighs. So there is an artery that called the medial popliteal. Okay. This artery, for some reason, is a very, very nice, thick. Not some reason, there's a good reason for it. It's one of the thickest arteries, apart from the coronary arteries and other arteries like that. So this artery is actually taken, and it has a nice resilience, and they cut it here, and they put it in make a small 4 pieces and put it in all 4 pieces. If the 4 vessels are blocked, in my dad's case, 75% there, so 3 vessels are blocked. I have to put 3 stents like that. So who needs all this? Let's just try to alhamdulillah skip it. Let's hope our generation completely takes over heart attack and cholesterol, hopefully. So now when you think about hypertensive retinopathy, you will be able to better understand why does hypertension can cause retinopathy. It is something so seemingly harmless, but now you understand why it happens. Because hypertension is nothing but the high blood pressure of the traffic that is never stopping, so the blood vessels are never getting repaired. The never getting repaired blood vessels, the cholesterol, sticky cholesterol sticking to it, and eventually causing this thing, all damages. Now let's read. I think before this, isn't it better if we read it from Kansky? Yeah. Because that is true to the point. There's not much to do clinically in hypertensive retinopathy. Rather, the understanding theory part is more important. Oh my God, I'm speaking like the Hamza Express student. Where is this? Did you know that in Kansky, he doesn't differentiate it like it? Okay, very loud is now. Bag in Kansky, he doesn't differentiate retina and retina. At the retina, he differentiates 3 things. It's very so strange. Retinal vascular, fundus dystrophies, and macular dystrophies. And then he comes on retinal detachment. He divides retina into 4 topics. And it initially drove me mad why he did this. Now it makes so much sense. Did you see how I spent half an hour just speaking about blood vessels? And the most sensitive blood vessels are in kidney and retina? Look at this. He divided retina as the first topic is retinal vascular diseases. That much specific he is saying about blood vessels. Vascular means blood vessels. And look under that, what is it? Diabetic retinopathy is the number 1 disease. Even he knows that diabetic retinopathy should not have come under this retinal. Retinal vascular disease. It's a disease of the macroangiopathy. Disease of the small blood vessels. Then look what else? CRVO. CRVO is a disease that is affecting the blood vessels. Does everybody agree? Obviously,
Yes, of course.
vascular disease. CRVO also vascular disease because Ebola is coming. Then comes hypertensive retinopathy. So hypertensive retinopathy under Kransky is under vascular pathology of the retina. Okay. Then you have ROP. ROP is
Retinopathy.
retinopathy. Then you have sickle cell retinopathy. Then you have primary retinal telangiectasia and East disease. Everything I have got from. So when we are going to teach this to you. Okay, now are you open Kransky? Are you opening Kransky? Mala?
7.
You guys are opening Kransky?
Yes.
Oh, very nice. Fine. So I don't know how my notes will relate to Kansky, but all my notes are from Kansky. So, but I will be going in a fast manner because after reading 65 lines, I came across 11 lines which I felt were the most important. Okay, so I'll be reading that. You guys try to follow. Okay? You might lose it if you try to read and follow this. Let's see. So now, hypertensive retinopathy means damage to the retinal vascular arteries due to hypertension, due to high blood pressure. How does it look? Vasoconstriction is the primary response to injury. Vasoconstriction is primary response to injury or probably just to high blood pressure even before injury. Whenever there is high blood pressure, the blood vessels constrict. Can anybody give me why? Why? High pressure ಉಂಟಂಗೆ blood vessels dilate ಆಗಲ್ಲ, constrict ಆಗಲ್ಲ. Why? Pressure will decrease. Okay. Pressure will decrease. Right. It will create all sorts of doubts in the brain. When we take a pipe and we are reducing the pipe's nozzle size, does it increase the pressure or does it decrease the pressure?
Increase the pressure.
Then why is it doing this? Why is Allah Ta'ala doing this? I'll tell you. When I used to think about this in MBBS, it used to drive me crazy. But I later realized I'm actually comparing the wrong thing. I'm comparing two wrong things. The pipe is an open-ended system, which is having an exit somewhere. So the pressure is being manifested. But if it was a closed loop in the human body, if I have to reduce the blood that is flowing to my hands, sometimes when you put your hands on ice, the blood stops going there. What is happening? Vasoconstriction is happening. So if vasoconstriction is happening, the blood pressure should increase, right? Speed should increase, but more blood should go. But actually the opposite happens in a closed loop system. Whatever, since there is nowhere for the blood to exist, when you stop or constrict the blood vessels, the blood vessel actually stops. Or the pressure actually, there is no blood going here, so there is no pressure here. Because vasoconstriction is slowly pushing the blood back. There might be pressure here, but there won't be any pressure in this part. So vasoconstriction also is something like that. Whenever hypertension is happening, the whole area's blood vessels are being thinned so that there is no blood coming inside too much. Because the blood that is already there is causing so much damage anyway. So they are reducing the amount of blood that is there. It's a complicated, counterintuitive mechanism, but I have generally found nature to be like this. It's not so simple, it defies simplicity. I should really, say Subhanallah to Allah. So vasoconstriction is the primary response to hypertension. Okay? This vasoconstriction, when you have prolonged hypertension, is bad. Initially, it might reduce pressure. For example, I'm angry. My body is I'm like raging. I did make good profits, for example. My body is raging and I'm in this thing. Vasoconstriction is that my body is reducing the pressure. It is preventing the blood vessels in my eyes to burst. It's reducing the pressure. It's making me normal. But if I'm always angry, sometimes the damage can start to happen. Similarly, vasoconstriction is primary response will eventually start the vessels to get sclerosed. The vessels get damaged, repair, damage, full of scars. The vessel will not become this flexible, beautiful, young girl's blood vessel, but an old guy's thick blood vessel, sclerosis, stiff blood vessel. Okay, that is called as vascular sclerosis. That will in turn cause increased rigidity. Okay, vasoconstriction is the primary response to hypertension, which will cause sclerosis, which will cause increased rigidity. Okay. Sometimes what happens due to this, what is AV leaking?
AV crossing, arterial venous crossing, one of the blood vessels become bigger and crosses.
So what happens basically, one of the blood vessels will have so much pressure that normally we have blood vessels passing over other blood vessels all the time. Arteries and veins, they pass over each other all the time, but they are always in such a nice perfect pipe shape that they are not, but if one pipe is getting bigger, the other pipe will get smaller. Okay, that is called as AV leaking.
Yeah.
Exactly. Just show to everybody. Yeah. So that thing also starts to happen. I mean, I don't want you guys to mug up the fact that there's AV leaking, sclerosis. Think about the mechanism. Hypertension, vasoconstriction, sclerosis, rigidity. This rigidity, sclerosis will eventually, press the other artery or other blood vessel. Now, this only happens after long-standing hypertension. Okay, makes sense. The first day when I'm getting vasoconstriction, can I have AV leaking? I cannot, because by the time my vessel is not rigid. But after long-standing hypertension, I can have rigidity of the blood vessel, which can cause AV leaking. Okay. Sustained hypertension will cause the inner blood retinal barrier to break. Understandable?
Yes. It's like
Sustained,
a dam.
yeah,
Getting
exactly.
barrier.
How many blood retinal barriers are there?
Two.
Two.
Around.
Good guess. Yeah, two. So there are two. The outer blood retinal barrier is the RPE. Okay. The inner blood retinal barrier is the gap junctions or the tight junctions, which are in the inner retinal circulation. So they are never normally broken, but when again and again, blood vessel is happening, pressure is happening, they also start getting broken. That is when you have a flame-shaped hemorrhage.
You have taught me that.
Yeah.
Early class.
Yeah. So, can somebody make sense of this? Can somebody divide it into 4 stages for simplifying this? Yes. There is a supervisor for Kamsky who has done this. So, how he has done this? It's all common sense. Nothing too much for you. First step is generalized arteriolar damage. Make sense? Nothing is happening. Everything is getting damaged. First step. It's always damage is always the first step. Okay. Second, focal narrowing will start happening. First, there is generalized arterial narrowing. Okay. Second step is focal narrowing. At some places, it will get too damaged. They will start. That is where the narrowing will start from. Third step, that narrowed blood vessels will start to get damaged and give rise to retinal hemorrhage. Okay? This retinal hemorrhage will look like dots and blots. Dots and blots, and they will leak cholesterol. Yes? Whatever. Disagreeing or not understanding? Huh? Okay. What is happening first step? Yeah. Generalized arterial narrowing. What is happening second step? Focal arterial narrowing. At some place, when revolution happens everywhere riots will not happen. Revolution is happening everywhere, protests is happening everywhere, but riots will happen only at some crazy tension points. Those tension points you will have focal arterial narrowing where the damage will start from. Now the second step is damage on that part. And that thing will get damaged. When blood vessels get damaged, what happens? Leakage. Leakage will happen and it will cause a hemorrhage. Okay? This hemorrhage can be dot and dot, small dots, okay? Also, not just blood will get leaked. The other things that I'm always doing, the sticky things that are always going in the blood, which we never pay attention to them, also starts leaking. What are the sticky things? Cholesterol. And they will come out as lipid deposits. These lipid deposits, when they get leaked from the blood vessel and they form, accumulate in the retina, are called exudates. Okay? There are two types of exudates, hard and soft exudates. What is the difference? No difference. Soft is soft, hard is after so much soft becomes hard. Simple, nothing complicated. Okay? So retinal hemorrhages are coming, which are causing diabetic blood hemorrhage, and then they can also leak exudates. This is where when the exudates are leaking like this, they are leaking in a star-shaped pattern. Okay, for some reason. I don't know what the reason is. It has to be that the pattern of the blood vessels is like that. But I don't know how it is so apparent because I don't see the star everywhere. I only see this in neuroretinitis, cat scratch disease, and hypertensive retinopathy. Strangely. That star-like exudates that are leaking is called as macular star. Okay? This is a sign of chronic retinal edema. Now you should ask me, what the hell is retina to do with hemorrhage? We just told that hemorrhage is one that is leaking, right? And why does retina edema have to have macular star? Because what is edema? What is vascular edema basically? Yeah, cholesterol. But how is it happening? It's basically diabetes. What is happening is these blood vessels are like this. But if I keep on increasing size, what is happening? So many leaky vessels are happening, right? So leakage of the blood vessel does not only happen due to damage, it can also happen due to edema. And edema, there is so much space for things to go, the blood will leak outside, or the blood will not leak outside, but the cholesterol will leak outside. So whenever you see exudates, it's a sign of a previous edema that was there. That is why diabetic macular edema will have. Have you ever wondered CSME is always macular edema, but instead of the edema, there is exudates over there. Why are they calling it edema? Because there was a previous edema over there. Some cases there's still edema over there, but either way, it's a sign that there was edema and regular edema is happening over there. Okay, I expect too many concepts, but stay with it. It's very, very important. I'm trying to extraordinarily simplify it. Now, so macular star is a sign that there was chronic retinal edema because there was so much leakage of blood vessels from that part. There was significant edema. This is deposition of hard exudates around the fovea. Macular star definition. Okay. Last, what happens is optic disc also starts with edematous. Macular edema is happening. Chronic retinal edema is happening because the blood vessels are getting damaged. On top of that, slowly, even the disc edema is also happening. Okay. When the disc edema stage, it comes to that because it is not starting from the disc; it's starting from the retina and other blood-brain barriers. Eventually, when it goes to the disc, that means slowly it has retroactively gone back to the disc as well. So the now disc also having. So the pressure is actually increasing the disc as well. You guys remember, right? CRVO, hypertension, pressure in the disc. The pressure is increasing in the disc as well. Now they are having disc edema. This is an indicator of malignant hypertension. Akhil will tell us what is malignant hypertension.
More than 180.
Crazy hypertension. Death can be caused hypertension. Ayyo and BP kodikirinde will I die? I won't die. But these people can die due to that blood pressure that is called malignant hypertension. Okay? This means this is a stage when this guy is having malignant hypertension. His hypertension is slowly increasing to such a degree that his disc also has gone into edema and he's at a very dangerous stage. Okay? know who wrote this? Huh? No. My old students. I used to go for lunch and I used to tell them whatever is in the diagram, just write it over here by marking it. So next time I look at the diagram, I don't have to go down and up, down and up. So they used to write it for me. They used to take my iPad and write it for them. So
The copper wiring means it's thickening.
no, first let's look at A.
Narrowing.
Then let's look at A first. It's not so simple.
Okay.
A is what is happening. Girls. What is happening in A? I would say nothing is happening. Actually. But you will say, because it is written like this, I have to say arterial retinopathy. But can I catch you guys? Can I catch you cheaters? If this was, I would have rubbed this. Would you have able to say that there is arterial retinopathy? Say honestly. I would not have been able to say. I would say this is normal. That is how less the first stage is. Generalized arterial retinopathy. Because this is the first stage of hypertension retinopathy. It's not supposed to be like, oh, immediately I can see something is happening with this. Okay? But people who see 90 retinas every day, there's some arterial narrowing. Pretty damage stages there for hypertension retinopathy. So this thing can be missed, but at least now we can say yes, there is some arterial narrowing here. B. Look at this. Is there any doubt that something odd is happening here? Okay?
No.
Any doubt, Vena? Ivide adu illangi you would have told. They would have told at least. I can expect this from Vena. Yes? Even if it would have not been written over there, you would have still said, sir, this. If you would have asked what is happening abnormally, you would have said this part is abnormal. Because you have read box pairing, because you have read segmentation, because you have seen arterial attenuation in RP, because you have seen it in CRAO. Now you know how arterial narrowing really looks. That is exactly how it looks, right? Look at this whole thing is okay. Then here also there is arterial narration. I can say here also it is there. Where is here also? Then
It's fully flooded.
yes, girls. Here also. So this focal arteriolar attenuation is now starting. The damage is starting to happen. What is the next stage?
Yeah,
Nipping or nicking or anything. I will actually say the next stage is supposed to be damage, but I think another feature is aliening. Let's have a look now. So what is happening here? Fatima, what is happening here? Can you describe in simple words?
this is got crows.
So it was already crossed. Done? I'll call you back. The vessels are always been there.
But it's crossed. It's compressing.
Yes. Compressing is what you need to concentrate on. So I'll be back. Compressing is what you need to concentrate on. Can you see it is getting compressed? Clear or no? Dina? Clear or no? Vandana clear illa? See how clearly it is getting compressed. Not only is he damaging himself, but he is now starting to damage other vessels as well. Imagine what will happen if you start pressing other vessels. They will also start to get no blood about it. Now, copper wiring. So Akhil was saying something. I was about to ask him if he was here. He said copper wiring is nothing but thinning of the arterioles. Okay? But thinning of the arterioles looks like this. And copper wiring looks like this. If this and this was same, he would have written arteriolar narrowing. But he has written copper wiring is separate and focal arterial attenuation is separate. So what is copper wiring? Can you try to understand from this diagram?
There is no blood.
Changing of color.
But there is no blood. Just cells.
I would disagree with you that there is no blood. There is blood. %7 charge. Yeah. I will disagree with you that there is no blood. There is blood.
Because due to increased light influence.
Okay, the simple thing is the walls of the vessels are getting fat. Okay? The walls of the vessel are getting fat to such a degree because of sclerosis that the blood inside it looks lighter. Light reflects all those things. So it might look to your eyes that there is no blood going, but it's actually not correct. What he's trying to show by copper wiring is the lumen is getting smaller, agreed, but the walls are getting fatter because rigidity is increasing, because sclerosis is happening, because hypertension damage is happening. Okay? Again and again the vessels are getting damaged and they are becoming copper wires. Come on. Nalla complicated class I left first day. What's your name?
Ashwati.
Ashwati. Ashwini.
Ashwati.
Ashwati. Ashwati inde ardham endanu? Yes, so quiet. Girls, Maslav, you go to the next one.
Yes.
Now, grade 3 retinopathy with macular star. Yes, look at this. Beautiful macular star. I have a doubt for this girl. You. Why the macular star is not coming from the middle? Why is there this much space? So diabetes is saying, oh, there is phobia, I am not coming here. You are respecting the phobia. Why it is not coming? Why the star is not starting from here? Why they are starting from here? Why is this spot not having any lipid leakage?
What is
You know,
this?
the question is, we just discussed copper wiring by the way. So this thing, macular star, this is macular star. This is how macular star looks. This is, macular star is not starting from here. The center point of macular star is actually blank. Why is this much part blank? Why is macular star only coming from here? I want you to struggle with these parts, because macular star you can think about today and you can forget tomorrow. But if you think like this, you can use your brain and give me the answers next time. If blood vessel is getting damaged, what can happen? The sequence will be able to understand by you. Hina. 3 wickets down. Fatima, you want to be retired hurt as well? LBW, short behind wicket. Back to pavilion. Akhil, now Akhil will answer. He's our such a
No,
Tendulkar.
I know Microsoft.
Can you try to guess? It's a common sense. Little bit anatomy you should know. Not common sense like she can answer. Maybe she should answer. Mane, ee bhag ennaane?
4.
Yeah?
Yeah, 4.
What phobia? Everybody is knowing. Yeah, phobia is there.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah, phobia is there.
Yeah.
Because I said e-bag. No, I'm saying, I was continuing the question in Malayalam, like, what is there special about this part that there is no etymology? Okay, phobia is there. Okay, let's give me that clue. Phobia is there. That is a clue. So phobia is there. What should be there?
Phobia.
You keep on going inside it. Go to Ambo.
Abbo.
You know Ambo?
Yeah.
I've heard of it.
When you suddenly see something scary, or maybe you say Ambo.
How do you know that word? Malayalam word.
It's a Malayalam word, isn't it?
Yeah, Ambo.
Oh, they say it in Telugu also.
Oh, okay.
No, Ambo is the central part of phobia. It is slightly elevated.
Oh, phobia.
Phobia will have phobiola, will have Ambo.
It also has Ambo. Yeah, the 10 years Ambo also have.
Girls. No answer.
Consonant.
Chita.
Consonant also.
Huh?
Consonant. The consonant also.
Consonant. Sambandhamilla. That's clear. What is FAZ? Oh my god, I'm going to miss Fatima so much. Girls, he's getting married. Don't send him traumatized.
She's felt it out.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about.
Come on, girls. No, not us, Fatima. Nobody else. What is FAZ? Never heard FAZ?
Yes.
Yeah, it's easier than an answer to parent.
I see. So,
Girl, Google. This is Google. Try to answer. You don't know FAZ? What is FAZ?
some zone. Four.
Focal avascular zone.
Foveal
Foveal avascular.
avascular zone is real.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
That's not even I was not.
Your smile is very nice. Huh? What? You got a dimple? That dimple is like foveal. Foveal depression.
Yeah.
Same Angatharan. Foveal avascular zone. If you girls or boys, I would have slapped all of you. Satyam, you did not know this? You did not know this?
I
mean,
read
you
it, but I read about it,
At
but
least you get
now I
get
did something.
Girls, നമുക്ക് ഈ ഭാഗത്ത് ബ്ലഡ് വെസൽസ് ഉണ്ടാവില്ല. ഓക്കെ? അത് വളരെ ബേസിക് കോൺസെപ്റ്റ്. ബ്ലൈൻഡ് സ്പോട്ട് എവിടെയാണ്? ബ്ലൈൻഡ് സ്പോട്ട് അങ്ങനെ ഒരു കോൺസെപ്റ്റ് ആണ്. I'm actually shocked. My students don't know this. At least now you know. This part is not having any blood vessels. Can you say why? Akhil was dancing around the answer.
So, vision that much.
Yes, because vision is that much more important over it. Even little bit also, the light should not be blocked by blood vessels to direct it to the cones. That is why Allah Ta'ala, God has never made any blood vessels over there. He has kept that one as a avascular zone. So no matter what can happen, this part can never have a leakage of liquid deposit because there is no blood vessels for anything to leak. Okay? The third stage is retinopathy with macular stuft, or grade 3 stage. So grade 3 is retinopathy with a macular stuft. Anything else happening? What is this? Why is that? What is this? Anything is bottom lip? Yeah, which type of hemorrhage?
Flame shoot.
Anything else? We'll try to find out. there is venous looping.
AD.
There, evidence?
It's written on top of it.
Huh?
It's written something on top.
What do you think?
It's here.
No, she's saying here is
Here there is AD, but there is something.
Show me. I'm not sure that is looking. Just because vessels are going over each other,
Yeah,
will
but
not
what
mean.
is
Okay.
here focal
Maybe
narrowing?
you're right. But at least you know the concept.
Yeah.
What is AV? Better answer than fats. Still a better luxury than toilet, they say, right? Still a better answer than fats. Nice with confidence. Fats. Slowly I'm telling you, fats. So stupid, this guy. In every fight with your husband, you must win. Okay. What might happen in grade 4 retinopathy?
Optic disc atrophy.
I'll be very honest with you. I don't know why discreting is happening here. I need to understand it. How to explain it to you, I don't know because I'm not able to understand it myself. Maybe because the whole of retina is getting leakage of blood vessels, and maybe they're also getting edema. Other than that, that has to be the only thing I can understand. So, because it is starting from the arteries, hypertension is an arteriolar thing. But if it's an arteriolar thing, it should start from the disc. I was trying to justify myself by saying it's a if it's a venous thing, I can understand that this is how it travels. But how the hell is it? Is the artery traveling this? Okay, for some reason, yeah. I think that is venous looping.
is it IR?
I don't think so. IRMA will be like this. Two blood vessels will be connecting to each other. And then on complex. It could either be microorganisms in the venous looping. Microscopy looks like sometimes what happens when the pressure is too much, it becomes like this, like rubber bands. When you put the rubber band in, suddenly it becomes loop in itself. Yes? Ever seen it?
Yeah.
That's what it is. Rubber bands, you pull them and you slowly do this, suddenly it becomes. That is what is happening on the lenses. But that is irrelevant. Huh? Other than don't learn that. See, what is happening? These two vessels are actually pretty connected over. How do you diverge?
No, this is diabetic retinopathy.
Don't see that. Diabetic retinopathy, malaria are different. That's why I did not go there because for diabetic retinopathy, for you to have understood, I would have had to tell you about magnetisms, about soft exudates, about you want to miss a very good class.
When I saw this, I just come.
We'll be attending the classes, right?
Already,
Try to do it. It's going to be difficult. Unrealistic to expect you to attend class. Okay. So, grade 4 hypertensive retinopathy. What happens in grade 4? Why it happens like that? Can you justify? Because you might forget if you don't have good justification for it. The way I'm thinking is, stage 1 is generalized arterial narrowing. Stage 1 is generalized arterial narrowing, then it becomes focal, then it becomes a bit more advanced by having a leakage of edema from everywhere. But there was one place where edema was not happening, was disc. Now edema is happening in the disc as well. This is like hypertensive retinopathy, malignant hypertension stage. Okay, grade 4. I'm speaking so much today, Mike. What are you getting? What class you have today? Okay. Should we read it very fast or should we call it today? We'll try to read very fast. Okay? Open this and
Usually asymptomatic. That is why I didn't bother with this disease for so long. Because it is asymptomatic. Hardly anybody comes and tells me, like, hepatitis
That's why sir never asked whether patient hypertension, only asked whether he has diabetes. 10 years diabetes. So far with my experience.
Exactly. And even if you say medical history is hypertension, they never take it to
They never take it.
science, critical, generalized or localized retinal arterial narrowing. Which stage is generalized arterial narrowing?
First
First
stage.
stage.
Good. Which stage is localized
Second
arterial narrowing?
Second
Stage.
stage.
Good. Almost always bilateral. Makes sense?
Yes.
Chronic hypertension and acute malignant hypertension. Okay. Imagine if one day suddenly somebody's hypertension went 200 due to trauma or some other reason, and somebody's slowly hypertension is increasing and it's for a long time. How the difference will be there? Chronic hypertension will have AV nicking. Fatima, to your point, AV nicking will be there in long-term hypertension. We'll think about like this. Some differences there. And retinal arteriolosclerosis, copper or silver wiring. Okay.
why copper wiring is happening? The walls are thinning. Like you said, it is not getting thinner. The walls are getting thicker. So the walls are looking prominently more thicker than the lumen. It looks like there is no blood inside, but that is what copper wiring looks like.
It's like a copper.
It's like a copper wire.
So it is also a sign of a long-standing thing. Okay. Then cortical spots, flame-shaped hemorrhages, understandable. Arteriolar macroaneurysms.
What you might have seen over there is an arterial macroaneurysm, probably.
I'm not sure. Why I'm not sure is because arterial macroaneurysms or macroaneurysms for that matter, nobody can. Yeah, it's like that. But hardly anybody can ever diagnose it with our naked eye. Unless until I'll tell you just one thing and I'll drop the mic. Even Rajesh cannot diagnose macroaneurysms. If you ever go to him and tell sir there's macroaneurysms, oh, you're able to see macroaneurysms. So he himself cannot diagnose it. He finds it very difficult. So it's a stay away from that. Central or branch retinal occlusion of an artery or a vein. I think it's a useless point. If by that time, if it does generally have a central retinal artery or a branch retinal artery occlusion, I think we can obviously know it. We don't need to learn it like that. It just unnecessarily confuses us. Right? Rarely neovascular formation is developed. That's a good point. Rarely neovascularization. Now, what happens if suddenly the hypertension is increasing? Macular star, retinal edema, optic nerve edema. Okay, that's why this.
Everything is given.
That's why I don't like this.
some topics.
This is very bad for theory learning. It's good for practical learning. But it's a good thing we studied Kansky. You see how confusing this guy is telling us. Cortical sports is here, cortical sports is there. On top of that, he is bringing, patient.
The patient ready आयो.
हाँ सर.
Stretching करेंगे.
हाँ.
Bashir.
Shah's Bashir.
Yes.
Hey, what's up?
Great.
Please have a seat. Have a seat. How are you?
Okay.
Yeah. How is your robot design and graphic design?
Everything
Great.
Yeah.
I think you lost a little bit weight. You lost weight?
Actually, I met with an accident, so I was in bed rest.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
What happened?
It's a bike accident.
Oh, are you okay? Any
Getting better.
Sprain, le?
Yeah.
Fracture or no?
Yep.
Oh my god.
2 fractures.
You're always on the field in Instagram. Le, you're always on the bike.
Yeah, I'm always. So, how are you doing? How's your business and everything?
Everything very nice. My car business has just gone into over 7 figures.
Okay. So, no more travel. I think you'll be getting busy with your business.
Probably. I'm actually, you caught me on a very fortunate day. I'm about to leave this hospital.
Seriously? What happened?
Yes, because of the businesses thing.
Oh.
Yeah, not able to give enough time to here and there. I'll be coming here for half day.
Yeah.
For my clinical stuff, mostly I'll be working at the hospital. Half day stuff. So, everything okay with the eyes?
Yes.
Slightly red they are looking.
Yeah, that's the thing I came back.
Yeah.
I feel very itchiness and the dryness. I hate the dryness,
Yeah.
some sands inside.
So when does the dryness happen? Even when you're sitting at home it happens or when you're driving?
Yeah, and even sitting at home, yeah.
Do you always sit in the AC or something like that?
No, it's not.
Are you always rubbing your eyes?
No, recently I started.
How many days ago?
Like 2 days.
2 days back. Has there any time needed discharge pigla? So you seem to have a history of allergy. Yeah. Your eyes are allergic. And have you ever noticed small lines around your
The white one.
Huh?
The white.
No, there are some lines here in the lower skin. There are actually signs of allergy. Allergy lines of any organ folds are identified. So what I'll do is, you came here in May.
I think so. I don't remember.
You came here in May 16th and meet Dr. Shamir sir. And he also diagnosed you with the allergic and antistatic bronchitis. He gave you one eye drop, 2 eye drops, and one Zayaka cleanser. How was it?
This for clean, right?
Yeah, for a cleansing, and he gave 2
I'm
drops.
using that.
Do you still have them?
Yeah.
Do you have all the drops?
It's finished. The drops are finished. Yeah.
And how were they? Were they beneficial for your eyes? Did you
That time I had a horrible redness.
Horrible.
Yeah, that one.
That was bad. So I'll do something. Do you still have the cleanser with you?
Yeah.
Are you using it regularly?
Yeah.
So you understand what is happening with your eyes. Right? So there are 2 things that are happening.
Okay.
One thing is inside your eyes there is a white part, right?
Yeah.
The white part is being covered by the lids. Open, close, open, close. The lids are having some allergy. That is number 1.
Okay.
On top of that, there is some external thing. Dandruff in the issue.
No, last time you told me, so
Yeah.
I checked that one.
Yeah.
So everything is perfect.
It doesn't look like that.
Yeah.
Your hair looks very healthy. So sometimes either due to dandruff or some other external stimuli, I'm going to lid into a margin. You put the margin. A margin in the middle of irritation. So you're having 2 types of allergies. One type of allergy is allergy inside the eye, in the lids, and allergy on the margin of the lids. That's called blepharitis. 2 things are coming together. That is why horrible things are happening to you. You're feeling very irritated. So what I can do is, I will remove this erbitol eye drop. In place of that, I will give you Alcarex. You have to use 1 drop 3 times a day for 1. Okay?
Okay.
You can use it for both the eyes.
Okay.
Even though it's for 1 eye right now, but actually allergy happens in one eye.
Optive eye drops in you don't have that as well, right? Okay.
Right now I have only the cleanser.
Only the cleaning.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. In that case, I'll give you ultragel eye drops. And Zai Aqua Cleanser, how many times are you using it?
Twice.
Twice a day. Okay, so you can continue that. Shaz, you also have very small power.
Small power.
Small power. It's like minus 0.75 in the right eye.
Okay.
Have you ever noticed that?
I don't know.
Without that, there is some vision decrease in the right eye. Let's do something. We'll wait for 1 or 2 more months. We'll first treat your allergy. So sometimes what happens when we are in the allergic state, it looks like we have some vision problems. Mari we are like rubbing the eyes, and that is causing some blurring of vision. Sometimes when the allergy resolves, our vision also resolves. So let's try to give it a benefit because you don't like to wear glasses again.
Yeah, I hate.
You get glasses. Okay. So I'll continue the Zygo cleanser how you are doing it. Okay. Then. Along with that, I'll give you an Alcarex for the allergy and Ultragel for the dryness. Okay. Other than more in the combination, inshallah, strength and this you can continue for a period of 1 month. If you like this, the same prescription you can buy it once again and continue for 1 more month.
Okay. And one more question, because after using the cleanser, I feel the eyes too dry. Is that normal?
The cleanser is a concentrated thing. If you use it alone, you will feel that.
Okay.
You have to use it with the
That I don't.
eye drop. So that eye drop will give you proper eye drop.
Yeah.
This eye drop is not a normal eye drop, it's like a gel combination.
Okay.
So when you use that, it stays in the eye for longer.
Okay.
So better to use this along with the cleanser. There's a lot of dust in your eyes, Charles. A lot dust in there. When you are driving, are you wearing sunglasses? You should always wear sunglasses. Long on photo. And that is also exacerbating the fact that you are having this allergy.
Okay.
Unnecessary allergy because of that dust. Dust in what you wear sunglasses. Okay? I never ride without sunglasses. Because once you
In a long ride, I can use sunglasses. In the cities, I don't.
Understandable. Try to have sunglasses.
Yes,
Okay? Because the more I'm reading about the eye, the more I'm reading sunglasses. How dangerous dust and everything
Yeah.
is. You can come and meet me after 1 month, but I won't be here.
No, it's fine.
I'll still give you the appointment. For 1 month, you can always meet Shamir sir or anybody else.
Yeah,
Doesn't
yeah,
matter.
yeah.
Along with that, any problem if you have, you can always contact me. It's not an issue. If everything is going fine, you need to come back. Continue the same drops for 1 more month. And you can always mix and match. Sometimes you can use the cleanser, sometimes you cannot use the cleanser. And just you will be knowing your body a little bit better. These 3 drops are nice. If there's allergy, use Alcarex, dryness, Ultragel, and the irritation and the other things, there's a roughness in the lid part for the cleanser. Okay, you can do that and come to me after 2 months or contact me.
Okay.
Or come back to the hospital. If everything is okay, then only to come.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks so
Thank you.
much. I'll get this from the
Yes, please. Pharmacy.
Okay.
Okay.
All the best, man.
Take care.
For your life,
Yeah.
future. I will keep in touch in the
Yes, yes, please keep it.
Yes.
Is your business something?
Yeah, I met him long back before I was starting car labs. So I had discussed with him. He was a famous guy in Calicut.
What does he do?
He is actually a freelancing guy and he is very rich, filthy rich. So he doesn't need to work. So he is working as a robot designer, graphic designer, still on time. He belongs to a family of architects. So we'll do one thing. We have understood hypertensive retinopathy very well from Kansky. And we have a very good staging system from Kansky itself. We don't have to spend our extra time studying again staging from Wilson because Wilson is very misleading in that manner. Everything it is saying chronic and acute. It's very misleading. We'll do one thing. We just read the DD's workup and treatment. Okay? So DD looks like diabetic retinopathy. But he will have diabetes and some other things also not going to be there. It could be radiation retinopathy, but radiation retinopathy, what is the main thing?
History.
Yeah, still radiation along with cortical spots. CRVO and BRVO also it could be, but
Unilateral.
unilateral. Great point. Unilateral. What else? You will know what it is. Venous dilation will be there, not arterial or narrowing. Tortuosity, all those things. Okay. Etiology. Primary hypertension, nobody knows the cause. Secondary hypertension, maybe due to preeclampsia. You know what is eclampsia? Preeclampsia. Anil will know. Yeah, pregnancy. Pheochromocytoma, tumor of the adrenal gland. Okay, got it. Workup. We take a history. Ask if the patient has hypertension, diabetes, or arterial irritation. Check the blood pressure. Then complete ocular examination as always. Dilated fundus examination. Then refer to patient to medical internist. Not much to do in your thing. That's why we don't study this too much. That's why you guys don't know much about hypertensive retinopathy because it's not that pertinent of a thing in ophthalmology to do something about it. It's rather no treatment again. Treatment is not treatment. What do you do?
Hypertension.
You just have to send the patient to a medical internist. That's why we don't deal with this case too much. We don't hear too much about
So
it.
this cotton spots in your
No. Cortical spots is just like a manifestation. It's not. I don't know how to put it, but I hope you get it. So the thing is, still the strong point for hypertensive retinopathy is in its diagnosis. It has a very typical classical picture. So in terms of Viva, in terms of theory understanding, in terms of ophthalmology understanding, it's a very good topic. So most of the reasons why hypertensive retinopathy is famous is because of these things. But otherwise, it's not a disease that is very pertinent in our field because we can't do much about it. Okay.